I have been obsessed with Douyin body makeup. The Douyin style is more artistic, I would say. They focus a lot on heavy contour, really big animated eyes, full lashes, and glossy lips, sometimes matte lips, but it's more of the M shape that they like. I think it's really beautiful, so I'm going to try to recreate it on my skin tone. Let's see. We're gonna start off with prep. I feel like a good base makes for really good makeup application. Without like a smooth and moisturized base, it always ends up looking really cakey on me. What I love most about this style of makeup is how doll-like it looks. I'm using a bunch of different moisturizers to get a really moisturized base because this does require a bit of product, and my skin just works best when it's really well moisturized to actually hold the makeup in place. Now we're going in with a primer. This one has a little bit of a tint. Now we're gonna go in with color corrector, and I just put this like in this area. My forehead has a birthmark, and this just cancels out the redness. Now we're gonna start working on the base. We're going to start correcting the dark spots. Now I'm gonna just highlight my under eye area and find any more remnants of dark spots and just go over it. We want a pretty flawless base for this. A key part of this look is looking like you're glowing from within. And so what you're going to want to do is make sure that this is like your inner highlight, right? And then it expands. I feel like I need to draw on my face to show you with like, we might have to edit this and show you exactly how to do it. Imagine like this is going to be the brightest color, and then the next brightest color, and then a darker shade, and then the darkest shade on the outside. I'm using in shade medium. Mix it here, these two together. I'm gonna try it out with this one first, see if it's too light for what I'm going for, and then we might have to do a combination of these two. And that's gonna go, we'll just show you, girl, don't worry. Okay, next we're gonna do the contour. Get directly on my cheekbone because this is like the start of the contour for my cheek. And what I like about this, it's technically just a tinted sunscreen, but it's so sheer and it's also buildable. Take our powder puff and we're gonna just gradually blend that inward, and this gives us that like ombre effect, so there's no harsh lines. Okay, can you slightly see how this part is like lit up and then the rest is getting darker? Okay, for the nose contour, we're gonna go in with the lightest brown shade. And for this, you're going to want to know the portions of your face. I know that I have a longer mid face, so when I do my nose contour, I specifically for this style, I go right around here, and that's my shadow. And you'll see the bridge. Do you see how it's kind of shortening my mid face? And then I do a triangle on my nose. And then I also go on the sides. And then a little shadow, because we're gonna make really full lips for this look. We're just gonna set this, and then we're gonna just take our beauty blender, or a sponge, whatever you wanna call this. We're gonna pat this in. Okay, we're gonna go in with our highlighter. Again, we're just gonna re-highlight some areas. Again, this is a really dimensional look. And then we're gonna pat this. I'm using a different beauty blender. This one has all the dark, this one has the light. Okay, again, we're setting Beauty Pinch Blush in shade Joy. So we're gonna go directly under the iris, okay? So when looking straight ahead, it's just with Rare Beauty, this carries a lot of punch, so it's literally the tiniest dot. And then with the sponge that I'm using for the darker shades, I'm going with the blush. Then we're going in with the Milk Makeup in color Flip. And we're just gonna go slightly lower. So for this makeup look, the blush goes in the center of the face, right under the eye, and it's going to be kind of potent in the center, and then it's going to diffuse outwards. I'm going back in with the Rare Beauty blush, just to give it more potency in the middle. For this type of makeup look, the blush tends to go center of the face, bridge of the nose, above the Cupid's bow, and right on the chin. Now we're going to take the same excess and put it all over the eyes. Now I'm re-highlighting the area by my inner corner and the side of my nose. So I'm just cleaning up where the pink blush is kind of like bleeding down a bit. I've already retouched up the highlight underneath my eye. We're gonna go back in with the lightest shade of brown, and we're gonna mix it with this color here, so it's not crazy dark. If you are a fair color, you'd probably use pink, but for darker skin, we're gonna use brown. And then we're just gonna clean up the edge of it a little bit, so it blends in, it's not just a harsh line. Now we're gonna go in with Bobbi Brown's cream eyeshadow stick in color Moonstone. And we're gonna go really carefully. And this gives the vibe of like really animated, lively eyes. Okay. This is the Nikon K New York 40 Perfect Colors Classic. I don't know when I got this. I feel like I've had this forever. So, any eyeshadow palette you have where you can blend this brown color here with this like coppery orange color, and then a little bit of this rust color. And we're just gonna put that on the inner corner at our lash line. And then we're gonna blur it out a little bit towards the iris, and then we're gonna start doing our eyeliner. We're gonna go back in with the dark brown color and a little bit of the rust color. For the eyeliner, it's a soft wing where we're gonna go up from the lower lash and then connect that to the center of our top lash. Okay, we're just gonna curl my lashes. Okay, we're gonna go in and do eyeliner on the waterline of my top lash. We're using Kulfi, and it's a Kajal eyeliner. I don't know what shade this is. Chiki Chiku. Okay. Okay, so we're gonna try this one for the first time. This, I like applying my lashes underneath rather than on top. I just feel like it's easier and it looks more natural. So this glue says that I can turn any lash I have into under eye lashes. So let's see. So it says first we start off with Bond. I'm gonna work in sections because I don't know how fast or slowly this dries. I don't want to apply it to my entire lash and then not have it be active when I get to it. And then we go in with Seal. That was really easy. So far I'm liking it. Yeah, that was incredibly easy. I will say the Bond part is a little bit messy, but it's nothing we can't take care of with some micellar water. But look how easy that goes on, like, oh, that's just fantastically simple. And then the Seal is white. Or maybe it's clear. Yeah, I think it's clear. But you can see it's like picking up the black from the Bond. At first, I didn't know what that was. I was like, did I still have mascara on from last night? Like, what is that? No, it's actually the first part. I think I want a bolder outer lash, so I'm gonna put another one on the ends. I might do 2 more. But this is just insanely simple. Like, sometimes I avoid putting on lashes because I just don't like the process. I do feel like it takes a lot of practice, and I'm pretty patient, but even still. Okay, now we're gonna blend these two together, and we're gonna go right back to the aegyosal. What's really important is the definition of this because it gives that look of like happy, smiling eyes. This has to be really defined. Now we're gonna go in with Espresso Yourself from the Beauty Crop. So we're just applying Made You Blush in the center of the eyelid. And then we're kind of just like diffusing it a little bit around the edges. Then we're gonna go in with Pop a Bottle. And we're just gonna tap that around the inner corner and the outer corner of the eye and kind of push it into the center. Okay, now I'm gonna do my bottom lashes. My bottom lashes are extremely long. So if you don't have long bottom lashes, you might just want to get single lashes and then apply them to the bottom. I'm gonna take my tweezers. I'm not gonna pluck my eyelashes, but what I am gonna do is stick them together. Some of my lashes do that already, which, thank God. It's just the vibe. For the eyebrows, we want them to be pretty straight. Mine naturally have a slight arch in them, so I just fill in the bottom of the arch and kind of try to create some hairs that make it look more straight. So in China, they use something called a highlighting powder. We don't really have that, and I'm afraid to use a Judy doll one because I feel like it won't match my skin tone. So I found that the Huda Beauty press powder gave the same results, as in it's still mattifying, but it also has that highlighting effect. Alright, now we're gonna overline the lips a little bit and give it more of a defined Cupid's bow. This is the color Happy. For the lips, you want the color to bleed out from the center. I find that putting the lip gloss on first and then taking a lip liner and going over the center and a little bit on the top lip will give that diffused look. I forgot to show it, but for this I'm using the Charlotte Tilbury lip liner in shade Walk of Shame. Using a concealer here, I'm cleaning up the edges of the lip while also recreating a new shape and making it a bit rounder. With this cream blush, I'm going over some parts of the face where I feel like it needs a little bit more color. I felt like the face needed more dimension, so I'm just going over my contour with the coolest shade in my contour kit. I love the way it looks blending those three colors for my cheekbone, and then for this look I used the lightest gold for my inner corner. For my nose highlight, I go in with color Hustla Baby, and I just put that on the very tip of my nose right underneath the darkest part of the contour. And that's it. Thank you so much for watching!